Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion, theory, speculation, what if video, I guess whatever you want to call it really. I am once again joined by two awesome YouTubers. They've been on my channel before, but I want you to give them a great big Dragon Ball YouTuber welcome. First of all, we got the one, the only, he's on my channel all the time. I know you guys love him. We got MJ from GeekList TV. MJ, why don't you say hello, man?
Hello.
Oh my god, fuck you guys. Alright. Anyway, we also got the Golden Scouter himself. Scouter, why don't you say hello, man?
How's it going, Reel to Reel and MJ? It is I, the Golden Scouter.
I don't know, bro, but Golden Scouter to me, he seems like he can scuff the best ass in the world, bro. Like, I don't know.
Yep, I can. And I actually...
Okay.
Okay. What skill that is.
Anyway, guys, we're going to get right into this. Honestly, you clicked on this video, you know what we're going to be talking about, but just in case you didn't, or for whatever reason you forgot, we're going to be talking about Gohan in the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament fight. Now, if you remember back during the good old days of Dragon Ball Super, okay, Dragon Ball Super's still on. Anyway, if you remember back a couple months ago, however long they did this, like almost a year, in fact, over a year now. Anyway, they went to Gohan, who was training after the Forgotten F arc with Piccolo, and they asked him to be a part of this, and he was like, yeah, let's do that. I really want to do that. And he's like, but wait, no, I have to go to this stupid conference, and it's all just this big thing. I can't get out of it because I got this job lined up, and then eventually the job is going to either be, like, he's going to turn down the job and then eventually take it because Gohan simply can't make up his mind about anything in his life besides just taking Videl to Pound Town and making a child for himself. Anyway, yeah, that was supposed to be funny. Anyway, guys, so we're going to be speculating how the tournament would have actually been a little bit different if Gohan had competed other than Majin Buu, who ended up both in the manga and in the anime to be completely, utterly, and totally useless. And obviously, let's just kind of skip the basics. Gohan would ace 100%, grade A nerd that test. So obviously he's competing. He's not falling asleep. He's going to remain attentive. And I'm wondering from you guys, just kind of throw you into this. So the way Gohan's acting right now during this particular tournament arc, having to sit there and watch Goku fight, do you think he would have had that same kind of exhilaration watching Goku fight or even Vegeta fight, as he made his way through all these other people? Would he get exhilarated by watching Piccolo fight, or would anything like that? Do you think, like, by watching this, regardless of whether he had his fight sense back entirely, he would be excited for his matches if he ever got one? MJ.
Well, before I answer that, does anyone actually know what order the fights were going to take place in? Was Boo actually scheduled to go after somebody? Or no, he didn't make it to that part?
I feel like you remember the way it was kind of divided. It could go either way. I think that was the whole point. Like, whoever really wanted to go next.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, I just wanted to ask that real quick. So, anyways, yeah, I could probably see him getting excited. I mean, he had already taken time off from his studies or from his work to go and train with Piccolo, so we can tell that he was kind of serious about getting back into shape. I can see him actually getting excited because Goku would have gone first. I think that would have been, he would have gone first. It's Goku. So he would have seen Goku fight, Potamo and Frost. So I'm pretty sure he would have gotten hyped up. And plus, he did seem genuinely, excited to go to it. He was like, oh, yeah, I'll go with you. And Goku's like, really? He's like, yeah, I'll go. But then it's like, he got that call and he chose work over pleasure, I guess, But anyways, yeah, I can see him getting excited about it. Like, I don't know if it would have really affected the tournament that greatly if him being in that mindset. But, I mean, he just overall did seem to be in the mindset to get stronger, so that probably would have been a good thing, I would think.
What about you, Scouter?
So, yeah, I agree. But I actually think it would be more interesting if Gohan were to fight first before Goku. Because I think whenever the tournament really boils down to is hit at the end of the whole thing. So, we get to see Gohan go through Botamo. And, of course, Gohan's going to figure out Botamo's weakness about not really being, physically strong and not really having the greatest reflexes or, the ability to defend himself from being thrown out of the ring. So I think that next, Gohan would fight Frost and probably lose to Frost, and at that point, Goku would probably be able to see Frost's strategy of using the whole needle arm thing. And I think after this point, it would go from Goku to Frost, and Goku would probably one-shot Frost, and just kind of sweep through the tournament until hit, and then it would eventually be Vegeta at the end. But that's just me kind of like skimming through the whole tournament. What about you guys?
End of the video. All right, guys, let's go.
Okay, so bye, guys. Anyway, no, like I do want to comment. I do want to comment on that really quickly. Personally, when you're talking about like someone like Gohan going first versus Goku going first, look, I completely understand where you're coming with that. Personally, if you do it that way, then you basically kind of negate Gohan's appearance anyway. Just considering the fact that Botama was kind of a non-issue when it came to the entire tournament. So I don't necessarily like that idea just because I don't think it gives a lot of relevance to Gohan's character actually competing. Now, I guess if you take that and you swing it into what they're basically seemingly trying to, I guess, put in this particular context, that maybe Gohan's going to come back and maybe even win this whole thing, or Goku's putting a lot of emphasis on just how awesome Gohan is in this arc, and you have him go through that in the last arc of tournament, then you start to see, okay, maybe there's some kind of tangible connection here. Maybe they're trying to weave something, but they didn't do that. So I understand in that context, but personally, just talking about how this would have gone down, despite that, I do agree with MJ that Goku would have gone first, beaten Botamo, and then lost to Frost. And then it would have kind of played out as such that it would have been interesting, and also kind of a little bit more interesting for them to basically do the exact same thing. I know it's not as necessarily that creative in terms of actually putting people one-on-one, but the way the tournament was structured, and we're not necessarily changing the way the tournament was structured, is if you won, you can keep fighting until you lose. So, you know, Goku loses against Frost, Piccolo loses against Frost, Vegeta makes Piccolo kind of bow out, and he goes one-shots Frost, makes his way through Vegeta, takes out Kaba pretty quickly, and then loses to Hit. I think Gohan goes next. And the only difference, and the only significant difference I can see after that is it would have been a little bit cooler character-wise and a little less, I guess, a little bit less ridiculous when it came to Goku kind of asking for help, or getting someone just kind of going, oh yeah, I've heard of that technique before. And it's like, oh, cool, that's, you know, oh, that's what that is, you know? And then everyone, especially the audience, goes, oh, okay, that's what that is. And it basically gives Goku kind of a cheat code in order to kind of even compete in that fight, to the point where he's actually competing fist to fist with Hit. It would have been more interesting and a little bit more impactful to have Vegeta whop his way through the entire tournament, get destroyed by Hit, and then Gohan go in and, using his intelligence and his brawn, after being really excited from Vegeta's fight and all that other stuff, also get beaten by Hit, but have Goku or Gohan hypothesize what's going on, and not have someone come in with this ridiculous theory. You know, it's just someone going, oh yeah, that's a thing. Then taking Gohan, who's actually studied science and math and all this stuff, he's like, this has to be what's going on, because like I couldn't get a hit in edgewise. I understand how fighting works and all this other stuff, and that's how you play into Goku knowing what Hit's doing. But anyway, MJ, what are your thoughts?
I can see it going like that, but I actually have a completely different idea of how the tournament would play out compared to both of you guys.
That's great. That's great.
I do like that. I do like that idea though about Gohan kind of being Bill Nye the Science Guy in the tournament, you know, and basically
Bill Nye the fighting guy.
But we saw how smart he was in the universe survival arc, and in the beginning of this arc, we saw just exactly what he could do in the Zeno exhibition fight against Lavender, using his ki as a radar. Now, whether or not you want to say maybe that's because he's been training longer with Piccolo and he's got his fighting sense back, would he have his fighting sense during the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament? That's up to debate, I guess, but I feel like he's smart enough to do something like that with Hit. But in my opinion, I always figured that Goku would go first and that he would take out Botamo. So sorry, Botamo. Botamo loses, I guess, in every scenario here.
Yeah,
Botamo just gets taken out in every scenario. So then Frost comes up, and then Goku loses to Frost. then I figured that Piccolo would go next, and then Piccolo would go, and he would probably lose to Frost again, right? But see, the thing here is that I think Vegeta would probably be last. I feel like Vegeta would be right before Monaka. The reason why I figured that is because when Beerus is asking him to select the teams, when Goku wants to go first, Beerus might think in his head, okay, let's put Goku first, just in case something happens to Goku, I can have Vegeta at the end. You know what I mean? Just in case kind of something goes wrong, like if there is someone just as strong as Goku on the other team. So I figured it would work like that, so you'd have Goku, Piccolo, then Gohan, then Vegeta, then Monaka. But anyways, Gohan goes up against Frost, but I feel like at that point in time, Jocko would have already did the whole exposing Frost, hashtag expose Frost, and he would have, Gohan would have beaten Frost in my opinion. I feel like the fact that when Gohan and Piccolo were training, they seemed to be, I guess, around the same level of power, and they're like Gohan was fighting him in his base form, and Piccolo was keeping up with them. Some people argue that Piccolo may be stronger, but I mean, Gohan still has a Super Saiyan transformation. That's a 50 times power boost. So I feel like Gohan could take out Frost. Then he goes on to fight Vegeta. This is a bit weird. I don't know who would win between Vegeta and Gohan. Even though I do think Vegeta's a tank, Gohan is smart. So I guess it could play out either way. I could probably see him doing what Vegeta did and actually, destroying the barrier and all that. But I don't know if he would actually be able to defeat Vegeta one-on-one, like take him out of the fight or knock him out unless he does the whole name call. So if he's able to pull off the name call, I guess he could win it. And if that's the case, then I feel like he would go up against Kaba. But I feel at this point in time, Gohan would probably be a bit tired. I would probably give the fight to Kaba. Then obviously Vegeta comes in. Vegeta fucks Kaba up the same way the tournament happened. Then Hit steps up, and then Hit just wrecks Vegeta's world. And then Naka comes up and there you go, fucks up Monaka, and then end of the tournament. So
Vegeta and Kaba
that's so
such a good fight.
That's so gloomy, man. That's so bad.
Scott, what are you saying?
And Kaba and Vegeta is such a good fight, so I would not want to change that either way.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and I like what you're saying about how Vegeta would go up against Gohan, and then it would kind of be a really close call. One of the big problems that tournament really had, and it wasn't necessarily because of they kind of shot themselves in the foot twice there with, both having, I guess 3 times really, with having Monaka be a wash character or kind of a gag wash character, and then you had, for whatever reason, they just decided that Boo was going to participate but never participate. And then you had Vegeta just steamroll his way through the entire tournament, basically. And you're like, okay, well, it should have been better than that. It should have felt like it was closer and not just Universe 7 kind of getting, I guess, Goku got to go back into the freaking fight. Like, no one saw that coming. So it seemed interesting when Goku lost second round. You're wondering, oh, what are they going to do? How are they going to work with this? Isn't he supposed to be the last character, the main character, someone who's going to actually go up in the real climactic fight? Obviously, that did happen, and they gave us some kind of a runaround with that. But having Gohan fight Vegeta and it be a very close fight, and maybe even Gohan losing that fight, Vegeta coming in, having a difficult time, but figuring out that weakness, or even just accidentally kind of happening onto that weakness like he did. One thing you have from that, something interesting, is just them interacting and it feeling much more like a close match than it actually felt like. And I feel like that's kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think, and I guess in my scenario, that could work out the same way. I guess Gohan could lose to Vegeta, then Vegeta comes in and he kind of does what he did in the actual tournament, where he sweeps through Vegeta and Kaba. So, that could happen.
Anyway, Scouter, do you have anything left to say?
Not really. I mean, I think that if Gohan were to really join the tournament, I think that he would have a lot of good character moments, but I don't think that he would have won at the end of things. So, I mean, I think that if he would have joined the tournament, I think that things might have ended up the same way at the end of the day, but I think that there would have been a lot more moments for him to shine.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave it at that. I hope you did enjoy this. Honestly, we don't necessarily get a big group discussion like this every now and then. We kind of try to keep it short for you guys. And honestly, I thought it was kind of cool because we all kind of came in with a different perspective of how it would have gone down. One thing I want to do is see from you guys in the comment section below how you think it would have gone down. I'm sure everyone here would like to see all the different opinions and all the different circumstances that could have happened and should have happened in order to make that arc as cool as it possibly could have if Gohan had actually competed instead of Majin Buu or anything like that. So please make sure to go check out both MJ at GeekList TV and then the Golden Scouter as well. They both make some really awesome content for you guys, different interesting content for the entire Dragon Ball community, and we're going to catch you on the next video. Bye.
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 All right.
I wanted to say something different. Oh, well.
Bye, banana.